doesn't have any impact at all. But when we create that tag, again, we'll be able to see that should kick off a pipeline, which will go through the same steps before for the validation, making sure we've not left the placeholder template for the flow or agent in place. And then once it's happy with those, it will go on and create the agent in the catalog and enable it in this project. Okay, so that's all. It's confirmed it's valid. I've removed the placeholders, and now it's just syncing it with the catalog. It's passed. The screen just hasn't updated, so we can see it's created the version 1.0.0. It's not because I put that as the tag. This will always be the first version will be created as that. And we can actually see that agent now. Both managed because that's where we created it and enabled in this project as well. And hopefully it now appears in our list of custom agents. So if we just say hello, and it speaks back like a pirate. So that's, I don't know about 0 to hero, but that's, I've created an agent from scratch. So we can now iterate on that. I will just make a small change just to show you the process of creating another tag and make sure that it does update as we expect. I will also mention that if we wanted to create multiple agents, we could do that. So just essentially take a copy of this YAML file here, or in our onboarding issues, there's instructions on how to go back to the template in case maybe you deleted one of the YAMLs by mistake, or you made some changes and you couldn't remember exactly what the structure should look like. So at any point you can go back to this project in the GitLab AI hackathon group, project templates, participant template, and you can see exactly what the out of the box template looked like. So we'll make a slight change to this, and we'll say respond with a joke. So again, just committing that change to the default, the main branch, just run some validation. It doesn't actually make any changes to my agent. Nothing will get updated automatically. I do need to confirm I'm happy and I'm in the wrong project. In here, create a new tag. Again, completely arbitrary, so I'll put Liam for this one.
But of course, you can name your tags like Lee said, however you want. But it makes sense for definitely if you team up with multiple people, that you know how you want to name your agent, or that if you want to use semantic versioning, you really can also for your agents and your tags. So it's possible.
Absolutely. Okay, so again, validation's passed. To the syncing. And it's saying it's updated to version 1.0.1. So again, I'll refresh just to make sure everything's okay. And we'll try and start a new chat. And there you go, it answers with a joke. So we can see it's using the latest agent. We could look at a flow, but Matthias, I don't know if I should stop. No, I won't stop sharing because I may want to jump on something else. But do we have any questions yet? Or
I saw one question about the tools. If you can create custom tools The tool list is based on what the Duo Agent platform supports. So you have a lot of tools available for file management, for creating issues, for a lot of the actions that are already possible within GitLab. There's a tool already available for. So there are, I think, around 70 or 80 tools already there to be able to help you. So
Absolutely.
you cannot create them yourself, but yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like almost maybe 90 tools available. If you are like, it's not part of the hackathon, but the tools, the AI Gateway project, is where all of those tools are defined. I haven't looked at this for a while, so I'm not going to try and find it now. But if there's a skill that it doesn't have, projects open source. We're always welcoming contributions.
You can show the mapping file, Lee, if you want, in our CI component. There is the whole list of all the tools. That's maybe easier if you want to show it.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to remind me, is it in the root tool mapping? Here we go. Yeah, so this is the simple list, but we do link to here, which gives slightly more verbose description, I guess, of what each of these tools are. Okay. I can't remember how long we had scheduled for this, so shall I jump in and let's do a flow. I'm sure it'll only take me a couple of minutes anyway, so already named that one. So flows are still in beta, so they're not generally available like agents. They require, I would say, a little bit more work, but they are a little bit more powerful. So one of the things I've noticed before is sometimes they do need a little bit of a hint as to where they're operating. I don't know whether to do that in the prompt. Let's update these first. So what did we call the last? It was dev post. I remember it as demo agent or something like that. Demonstrate how to get started with custom flows. So we are going to leave. So we definitely need some tools. I think what I'm going to go for is create issue note. I think that's probably what quite handy to be able to have a conversation on an issue. So we'll do that. So my project that I'm working in is this one here. I'm going to try and talk like a pirate again. I don't think I really need to change anything else off the bat. The main thing is the system prompt. And then the goal is taken from user input here. So yeah, I think that should suffice. So let's demo flow. This time I probably will wait for the pipeline to complete so I can see that my template is valid. I'm a little bit less confident with flows than I am with agents. I'm fairly sure I updated everything there. Okay, it said it's all good, so we're ready to create our tag. Just to demonstrate quite how insane I am with my consistent branch tag names. So again, that should.
I was just going to say this is really cool.
I'm not triggering you, am I?
You have No, it's cool, and maybe I can. So as you can see, you can do both flows and agents in one project. It's not like one project only can do one agent or one flow or one agent. You can have multiple agents that you already said, but also like agents and flows in one project, which helps you a lot if you want to demo one specific thing that can do both agents and flows. You just need your single project and you're off to go. Yeah, it's all handled by the automation that's behind it.
Exactly. And we linked a few examples. I'm just gonna pick a random one of you participants to have a look at the onboarding issue. In here there is a link. Is it to the playlist? I thought there was playlist. Yeah, here we go. We went straight past it. And in this playlist, there's a bunch of different agents and flows that we created to demonstrate some of the capabilities. And if I remember rightly, I think it's number 2. No, number 3. I think that where we've actually combined agents and flows. So a flow will create an issue based on a trigger, and then you use an agent to have a conversation in that issue to sort of resolve it. So you can pair them up as well. I did see sync was successful. It created version 1.0.0 of my flow. My flow should now be available. This is something that maybe we didn't go into too much detail on flows, but they will be created. They basically be created as a user, so you can mention them or assign them to an issue. So I'm going to go into my project and I'm going to just create an issue. And I should see within that issue, I can mention, so it'll be this one here. So it's the name of so AI followed by the name of the flow and then the group in which it was created. I should be able to say, how do I create a tag in GitLab? Let's see how he does. This is really putting it on its toes. So we can follow the flow executes in CI, so we can follow the execution in CI. We also get an activity feed in the session list in a moment as well. So. Very Warren. Get there in a moment, I hope. Okay, we're moving. So it shows that session has started and the context that was given, the goal, and it's saying it's adding a comment to the issue. So it looks like it's done the trick. Yep, there we go. And it's answered like a pirate. So it has indeed followed my instruction, my prompt. I asked it about creating a tag in GitLab, and it's correctly said under the code menu, tags, new tag. So perfect. Yeah, looks to have done what I wanted. Hopefully you can come up with far more helpful use cases for your agents and flows. But I think that's a speed run through creating our first agent and our first flow for the hackathon.
Cool. There's one interesting question also in the chats about where do you need to store, for example, if you want your agent or flow to work on an existing project or code base or some logic in Node.js or in Python or whatever language that you want. What code can you use? It needs to be all in the same project. So you have a project for the hackathon, and that's a place where you store your agent and flows, like Lee just showed, but also the code from the project you want to work on. So if you want to make an agent to, for example, demonstrate the migration capabilities from an old Java version to a new one, for example, something like that, that Java code needs to be in the project itself, together with the API file and so on and so on, where it should need to react on. So it's one container or one package, so to say, that project for everything.
Yeah, that's fairly true. I mean, it does depend somewhat on your GitLab license to what you can and can't do. So your flows and agents will be published into our catalog. So if I look, what am I looking for? Agent explore AI catalog. So yeah, in the AI catalog, if I look for agents and search dev post, I will see that agent I've created, and actually will link back to my project there. And in flows, we'll see the one that I did there as well, and go back. Depending on if you do have access to other projects elsewhere on GitLab, you may be able to enable those flows and agents in those groups and projects. But it will all depend on the kind of licensing that you've got there. So primarily for the hackathon, or solely for the hackathon, our automation will enable your flow and your agent within your participant project. And that's only really where you can execute that flow and agent to demonstrate it. So yeah, go wild with your participant project, load a C# console app in there, a Java program, a Ruby, whatever you want, the sort of code and context that you want it to operate on. If it needs to work with issues, then feel free to create some test sort of demonstrative issues in the project, or merge requests, etc., and go from there. Great question, and thanks for answering, Matthias. Okay. I will just wait a couple of minutes, but if there's nothing else, I hope that's demonstrated how straightforward it can be.
To answer the question, there's a question about agents and models. Maybe we can show that actually. If you see on the bottom right corner in the chat window, you can select models. So the agent is not linked to a specific model. And that's also linked to what you can demonstrate. You can show that that agent works very well with Anthropic models, or that agent works very well with OpenAI models. It's not linked to the model. The agent on its own is basically the prompt and the tools and the power, like in the system prompt, and then you can find the best model to work with. And of course, you have multiple ways of looking at it. You can use the most powerful model to make your agent work, but if you can make it also work with the less powerful model, the model that's actually really cool too. So it really depends on the use case, what model that you need. But it's a good opportunity to think which model makes the most sense to use.
Absolutely. No, again, great question. I suppose what I should be able to do quickly, how long did we have scheduled in? Just going to double check. That one.
Take another 15 minutes, something.
Okay,
like that.
cool. Well, I will. What I'm going to do is clone the project quickly and just show you in VS Code to show that my agent should also be available. We'll just take a moment before I can.
Good idea, indeed. Yeah, good idea.
I
While
think
Lee
I'm
is doing
just
the local steps, I'm gonna walk through it. So we showed now how you can do it in the web IDE, so everything in the browser. But of course, a lot of tools and a lot of other IDEs exist where people may be more used to. We have a very good experience with VS Code and the GitLab workflow extension, which basically makes the bridge between your VS Code IDE and the GitLab project. And so if you clone the project locally, you have the same capabilities like Lee showed, like the sidebar where you can chat. You basically can also chat with your agent in VS Code itself. So Lee is now almost there in setting it up.
hopefully sharing the right window. Not saying I have too much open. but I should see we call these foundational agents that are available in all projects, in all groups, in all of GitLab, but also the custom agent there. Flows, I'm fairly confident, aren't yet available. No, flows aren't yet available within the IDE, but the agent should. And if I remember rightly, we've gone from Pirate to our Jokester. So hopefully, if we talk to this agent.
And the same capabilities you have here, you can also select the model where your agent should work with. So it's a different window, but and the angle can be that for this specific use case that you have, the local coding, like local coding is where your agent, the true power of your agent is. Where for other agents, the true power will be in the web ID. So it's a different approach depending on what use case that you see for your for the hackathon.
Yeah, and I'm sure I saw a question somewhere about whether they're able to execute commands and the like. And my understanding is that you can't execute a command with an agent when you're chatting to it in the web UI, just in the chat window. But when you're in the IDE, as long as you've given it, I think it's a specific tool. I know you can't see the other screen, but I'm just going to flip to the
No, you
screen.
can. You could ask
There's a
here now. Can you
run
list the files
command.
in this code?
I could, and I should hope it'd say no, because I didn't add the run command or the list
Ah,
files or whatever, but I will
yeah.
try it. Can you list the files in the project? But yeah, there's a run command tool specifically, which um, which will allow you to essentially arbitrate. It will ask for permission for approval before it does anything, but it will allow you to, if you want to tell your agent how to run your test suite in your project, or how to run your lint in, or whatever it might be, you can do that. So yeah, the two tools I gave this agent access to, I think, was read file and read files. So hence why it's apologized and said that it can't get directory listing. But yeah, run command would be what you need to give it if you want it to be able to do arbitrary terminal commands.
Yeah, indeed.
Perfect.
And then
I'm
you
just
have
going to check.
the experience. Then you have an experience that you can, make the needed changes on your local file system once the tools are enabled for that agent.
Yeah, thank you. You already answered in the chat by the looks of it about the different IDEs that are supported.
And to be complete, I think I said GDK, I meant GitLab, of course. The GitLab workflow extension. So, and also I think for the JetBrains IDEs, there is also an extension that can do the same. So
Yeah,
the VS Code
absolutely. I must admit, I don't think either of us have tried them ourselves, because we
no.
do have a Visual Studio extension. I think there might even be like Vim and a few others. I'm not sure which of them do support the custom agents, but do feel free to give them a try. But I'd be, VS Code, we know 100%. JetBrains, I'm fairly confident. And then the others, feel free to give them a try. Awesome. Well, good luck, everybody. Yeah, thanks for joining. And I look forward to answering more of your questions and have a look at what you build.